Alright, so I did a video years ago on Gyudon, popular. You guys can find it, but today I'm going to show you an even easier version. Last time I boiled the meat. That was just a method I learned from cooking with dog. This time, none of that. It's way easier. So this is what you're going to need. You're going to need some thinly sliced beef. I got this at the Wajimaya. Then you've got your sauces. This is 4 tablespoons of soy sauce, mirin, 2 tablespoons of mirin, 2 tablespoons of sake, and then over here, this is dashi. I use the powdered stuff, easiest way to make dashi. You'll be using these at different times, but eventually they'll get combined. I've got the ginger, really important. That's what gives it the gyudon flavor. Thinly sliced onions. I do have salt, white pepper, and lately I've just been putting a tiny sprinkle of MSG. What you're gonna use to cook with, I just have a frying pan here. I also have this big bowl with a strainer. This is gonna let me strain a lot of the juices and the sauces because I'm gonna have to cook the beef in 2 batches. I put it in here initially. I cook the second batch. I return the first batch. You're gonna see what I'm talking about. Then you put the sauce. Other thing you need to do, because you don't want to get stuck without rice. So I just made some white rice. That's ready to go. I'm using a itsjudysylife best rice cooker. So if you want, link is down below. Let's get cooking. Yes, it is a little dirty. I need to clean. Medium-high heat. Gonna go ahead and warm up my pan. For oil, you could totally use canola oil. I'm gonna use some pork fat. I just like the animal fats. This is all the fat I'll be using the whole time because there's a lot of fat inside of the beef. I'll let that heat up. See, it's already melting. That means the pan is getting nice and warm. Definitely want it to be nice and hot. It's not even smoking, but I'll start cooking this up, okay? As I mentioned before, I cook this in batches. 2 batches should be enough. You don't want to overcrowd your pan. Do this one first. I like to put some salt and white pepper. So I don't overcook it. It's okay if it's a little undercooked or you see a little bit of red because it's going to finish off later. What I'm going to do now is just add it to this strainer. Very easy. I just put it over there. That's it. This is not as much to strain it right now. I'm just removing it because I'm going to do the other batch of beef. Then what I do, put this over to the side. Put this back on the burner. I'm going to put the rest of this in there. A little trick here if you want to get the meat cooking a little bit faster, because this is not as much about browning as it is about cooking. I put the cover on like that. Then it just cooks a little faster. When you're mixing the soy sauce with the sugar and the other ingredients, I would suggest doing it ahead of time because you want that sugar to dissolve. So this is what I do. I just keep stirring it so that sugar is dissolved. Alright, so like I said, you don't need to overcook it. At this point, it's still about halfway cooked. What I'm going to do is I'm going to add this back in there. There we go. This is going to go off to the side. Alright, so that soy sauce mixture. Stir. Just pour it right in. What you're trying to do is get that soy sauce to flavor everything. At this point, I actually turn off the heat for a quick second. I'm just trying to get it nice and soaked up. So you see how that sugar is still in there? A little trick. Because I use warm water for the dashi, just put it in there and it'll grab it all. This is the other thing with beef. There's a reason people eat it rare. You don't have to cook it all the way through. It's gonna be totally okay. In fact, you'll find there's more flavor when you do that. Like before, I'm gonna put it in here, and this is where the strainer really comes into use is just to drain this and strain it, okay? I'll show you what is going to happen. Doesn't have to be perfect. Come on, come on, come on, come on, come on, come on. See this? You're going to see why you want to do this. You're going to use that a little bit later. But the beef is nice and soaked with that sweet soy sauce mixture. Turn the heat back on. And what you're going to do here, as I mentioned, you're trying to get everything from the bottom. I'm going to go put it back in there. I'm just trying to get everything out. Same thing as the sugar. I want to dissolve all the dashi. Alright, so this is what you're going to do. Now you're going to cook up the base of the sauce. So I put the dashi in there first. There you go. Then you're going to cook the ginger. That's a lot of ginger, but it's okay. When you cook this down, it kind of gets rid of that pungent part. So I will let this cook for about 3 to 4 minutes on a high heat. Clean as you go. Hey, are you hungry?
No.
You want gyudon rice?
No.
Okay. That ginger dashi mixture has been cooking for about 3 minutes now. Smelling really good. Remove the beef, just put it right over the onions. And what you're gonna do is take all that goodness right there and you're gonna put it right in. As Filipinos would say, this is the sabaw. I don't know if there's a Japanese word for it, but this is all the good stuff. Everyone wants a little extra of this on their gyudon. And this is what's gonna flavor your rice. Next up is the onions. In about 1 minute, I'm gonna take these onions, I'm gonna put it here, I'm gonna cover it, and then let that cook for, I wanna say about 4 to 5 minutes on a medium-low heat. All right, this is where I'm gonna add a little bit of MSG, just a tiny bit. That's not very much at all. Clean as you go. At this point, you don't really need any salt, but maybe just for good measure. Make sure there's enough salt. All right, it's been cooking down. Now it's time to cook your onions. Put it all in there. Doesn't have to be broken apart. It's gonna break apart later. I actually don't want to overcook the onions at all. So it's starting to boil. I'm gonna cover this. Put it to medium-low heat. Turn on the timer for 5 minutes. And now it's just time to wait. At this point, it's almost done. This beef over here, it's already cooked. So all I'm gonna do is heat it through. And if you really want to cook it through, just maybe crank on the heat for 1 or 2 minutes. It's good to go. We're almost there. I'm gonna take this off. Woo! As I mentioned, I don't want to overcook these because it's going to continue to cook as it sits there. Very simple at this point. You're just going to put the beef right on top. That's it. Put this in the sink. Sometimes there's some juices left. Add that. You're going to kind of stir it. I'm not worried about it being completely stirred. I can tell the onions are still slightly raw and crispy, which is good because once I cover this and let it sit, it's going to continue to cook a little bit and soften. But I like a little bit of bite, just a little bit of bite. And if it's overcooked, if you like soft onions, that's fine too. It's just all preference. All right, the heat's still on. You're just gonna cover it, and I turn it to the lowest simmer, and it's just gonna sit there. At this point, all you're gonna do is get your onsen tamago ready, which if you wanna know how to do onsen tamago, you're gonna take your eggs, put it into a pot, you're gonna get boiling hot water, you're gonna put it over those eggs, let it sit for however long it takes. That's where you're gonna have to test it out. You're gonna get a bowl of rice, put your gyudon over, put the onsen tamago on it, put all your toppings, and you're good to go. No, if you don't want to do onsen tamago, You can literally put a raw egg yolk on top. It's gonna be delicious. Make sure you get some high quality eggs, pasture raised, organic. In Japan, they eat raw egg all the time. Here in America, you're just gonna have to trust your source. I wouldn't do it with the cheapest eggs. I would only do it with high quality eggs. Set a timer for 15 minutes.
What is it?
Well, you're gonna see.
Oh, I think I know.
There you go.
Yeah, like that.
That's it. I actually did pretty good.
But I can't find it. I know what it is, but I can't find it. I know what it is, but I can't find it. If it is, so it's right in the open. I hit it. Okay.
Bam! Gyudon. Girls, 1 out of 10, how was it?
I'm still eating it.
10? Oh, you're still eating it? That onsen tamago. It's tricky, you gotta practice the timing, but like I said, you can just put a raw egg yolk on top if you want. Mmm. Japanese beef bowl. So good. Alright, Gyudon. Ready. There you go.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Soft, please.
No, there's 3 spoonfuls in there. Juliana, yours is ready too. How's the flavor?
Good.
It's really good.
So good.
Cooked it well.
I love Gyudon. Oh my gosh, I hit my mouth.
They love Gyudon. One of the things about Gyudon that I like to do even with the little ones is I like to chop it up with scissors so it's easy to mix.
Oh, it's so good.
I don't know about you guys, but for some reason our kids don't like big chunks of meat. Do you want some Gyudon? Yeah, you do.